So as we're counting down on this, the thing that came to mind is that I really love our intro song on the YouTube. And I can't remember if that happens after we record the intro or before we record the intro. Which one is it?
It's after the intro. It's like the interlude to the episode.
It's after the intro. Okay.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head right now. That's how good it is. So I hope that everybody that's listening to this podcast right now is going to listen to the intro. And then after that, you do what you want. It's your time. But if you do stick around, you're going to hear us being the Campfire Passport podcast, me, Sean, Colin, Mike, and Tyson, all talk about a lot of nothing for a while. We're going to do a little bit of a hangout show where we just talk trash about some things. We talk about some classic car stuff. We talk about Overland Expo Pacific Northwest. We talk about how the new Colorado has 35s on it again, but it's not really a Colorado this time. It's a Canyon. I've been informed that the AT4 is not the ZR2. We talk about Toyota bringing one really cool vehicle and one less cool vehicle to Expo. And then I don't think you're going to hear this, but we also can't hear Tyson for at least 15 minutes at the end of the episode. And I'm pretty sure he's just firing off the best jokes when this is happening. So it'll be a surprise for everybody when we actually hear this podcast. With that being said, I'm going to pass it to Colin for the next little bit here. He always helps transition us into the actual podcast.
Not a ton to go over on this one. We're just going to say, remember to subscribe and hit the like button, all that jazz on, wherever you listen to the pods, or if you're doing it on the YouTube, subscribe on there, do the same thing, throw some comments, whatever. And
make sure to comment whatever you're thinking, especially if it is thoughts and prayers for us, because we very much appreciate those.
Yeah, which an inside joke for later that you'll find. And then I think after this one, our next one could be potentially about the upcoming Browns camp trip, because we're going to go up there and hang out and do some more wheeling, and maybe Sean's car will be done by then, but you never know.
What I told Colin before we really started this was that I think today we're going to do just like a hangout show, just to talk about stuff. No major topic. We just had that big camp trip that everybody did. There's an awesome new podcast on that one. And I don't think we need to Alvord this and talk about it for like 3 episodes straight. That seems like a bad idea.
Maybe if you were there, you'd disagree.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that. I didn't go, which, spoiler alert, I didn't go because I didn't get my car together. Not even close. In fact, the fun part about it now is that I haven't still gotten my car together. It's in exactly the same state as it was when I decided I wasn't going to make it. I had other stuff happen, but for the most part, it was because it didn't work. So here we are.
So what's the status? Where are you going? When are you going to work on it? What do you have left to do?
Yeah, I'm going away again for a few days, and I have gone into my garage 2 times since I got back the last time. The first time that I went in the garage, Holden pointed out, I stuck a sticker to my toolbox. Pretty impressive.
Productive.
The second time, I moved some coolers around so that I could put them back where they go. Oh, wait, 3 times. Third time, Mike came over, brought the fridge back, put the fridge back in the Land Cruiser, strapped down one side, not both.
You didn't even plug it in though either.
Because the other plug-in is on the other strap side, and I don't want to have to like
Open the
do
door.
that. Yeah, that's silly. So
I can't wait for you.
Yeah,
to forget that
my
you only
transmission-
strapped one side.
oh yeah, I actually said that to myself. I said, I
We're
can't
gonna
wait
be
to figure
out
this
in the middle
out.
of nowhere. Yeah, this is gonna bounce all over the place. Oh yeah.
No, it'll be first test drive, throttle down, fridge goes slamming into the hatch. It'll be fine. It's got rubber pad things
Some
on the
of
bottom.
the best things happen when you're so excited for a test drive that you just skip so many other double checks. I've heard of people, you forget to bolt down the driver's seat, hit the skinny pedal, and all of a sudden you're in the trunk. Me personally, so excited when I bolted on some brand new mesh wheels on a what was it, a Nissan 200 SX, and I saw a wheel go by me and I went, ha, that dumb idiot, and then my car fell down. So yeah, double check everything, but man, the teaser of you just firing that thing up, I want to hear it. I want to see it.
No,
on
me
trails.
too. It transmission's apart, but I just gotta do the stuff and put it back together. I think honestly, I probably have like not very many hours of work just to toss it together and then put it in, which will kind of suck a little bit, and then we're back in business. The only thing that's not working from the original issues, like the stuff that I was working through, is that my oil pressure gauge like sender leaks a little bit, because this is really boring. So sorry for everybody listening. This is probably not what people come to this show for, but whatever. I'm going to keep going.
You got to slug through a little bit to get to the good content.
Yeah, exactly. The
We gotta give
Toyota
people-
oil pressure sensor like touches the intake manifold because of the way that the GM block to intake manifold, or not intake manifold, it's the valley cover. The way those two things go, there's a little bit of it's like this big, inch and a half or so, and the adapter doesn't lift the sensor high enough to clear it, and the sensor's about 3 inches in diameter, I think. So it's fine, it works. It just seeps a little bit of oil right now. So not the end of the world. It's just something I want to fix while either the transmission's out or I'm in that phase where I can still easily pull things apart. And then my tack, for some reason, I can test it and it works, but when it's running, it doesn't work. I found one guy who is doing the exact same setup as me in the exact same year, and he found that the wiring diagram that somebody else had used and posted all over the internet had the tack signal wire wrong. So I think that I just have to swap that out, but it makes no sense to me that the tack tests fine. I don't know. So I'll mess with it. It could be the signal from the ECU too. I don't know.
It's
a
just
small
someone
issue.
trolling everybody. That's genius.
Yeah. I mean, I want a tack, but it's not going to stop me from driving it to the exhaust shop. That's fine. So
Yeah, exactly. You go till there's less power, then let off the skinny pedal.
I mean, yeah, it's got a rev
automatic. It'll
limiter.
shift for you. Yeah, you just go, and then it'll figure it out.
Yeah,
It's
that's where I'm
one
at.
of those cars with luxury, cars that shift themselves.
Yes.
It is the ultimate luxury. One other thing I wanted to do with the Land Cruiser, I was really excited for early on, was drive it to Overland Expo, because I thought that'd be really sweet. And then, I could have it there with me, but instead I drove my future brother-in-law's 64 and a half, whatever, Mustang, which was fun. That was like a hilarious endeavor, because every security person had to talk to me. Everybody waves at you. You cannot drive that car without talking to people. It's impossible. It's very cool. I really like it. I'm really thankful to be able to use it because it's neat. Even though if you don't like pony cars or muscle cars, like, it's fun. It's cool to be able to drive something like that with a 5-speed and a built-up V8, But it's like, I just needed to find the right place to pick up my pass, and everybody would be like, "Whoa, what year is this?" And I'd be like, "Well, it's a 64 and a half, and it's got a fastback top grafted on it." oh wow. And the next person would be like, is that a 67? And I'd be like, no, it's actually oh my god, it's a 64 and a half.
Every answer is a story.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
The
Like,
answer every time.
yeah, we all know this, especially I think all of us know this because Mike's had enough stuff, but Colin and Tyson know it specifically from having a Volkswagen Bug. There's something about owning a Bug that means that you have to talk to nearly everyone, and you always have to tell them the story. And if you don't tell them the story, at the very least, they're going to tell you your or their story, because they always have a Bug story. It's always so and so had this, or I used to do this, or it's really nice, and everybody's really excited about them. But like, you know, I'm introverted sometimes. I just want to drive my car and enjoy it for me because I really like it. Like, I didn't get the car for you.
I'm not that.
I know, which is good.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you should get a Bug.
Yeah, I
Plays
probably
well
should.
for Mike. Yeah.
I was thinking about that as you were saying that.
Just
Yeah.
a shiny red Super Beetle is
Oh, yeah.
right up
Ooh.
Mike's alley. Just talking story. Everyone's had one. Everyone knows someone who's had one. Everyone has a story about some
Oh, yeah.
nice nostalgia, some great experience or terrible experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always a story. And yeah, you're standing anywhere in the vicinity of it and the people flock to you.
Yeah.
crazy.
I spent 30 minutes talking with a lady in front of her house this afternoon at my job because her daughter was an alcoholic and her son got into drugs, and she just wanted to tell somebody about it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll be that. I guess I'm that guy today. And I now know about their custody battle and losing the battle with this, and someone's in the mental institution because of this, and they can't have cats anymore because somebody's allergic. And one of the dogs is only mean to men. And like,
I'm gonna jump in and clarify for our listening audience that we don't live in Alabama here. This is Oregon.
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
is Alabama of Oregon.
Yeah, pretty much. Jeez.
Well, what I was going to get to was, I think a lot of it is it's anything that is like somewhat iconic, and then the older it gets, the more that stuff comes as well. Because I've dealt with it, like you said, with the Bug. I dealt with it with the Comet, and then now the Waggy is full on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every day I've got somebody hanging a thumb out the window. Every time I fill it up, so one of the attendants has to come over and give me their 2 cents on, you know, a Wagoneer. And it is like constant interruption of what I'm doing so that someone else can talk to me about my car.
Oh, yeah. What surprises me to no extent is the amount of opinion that people are willing to give. Mm-hmm. When someone will say things like, we've all heard this, so when are you going to paint it? Or, you know, with Lauren's truck, it'd be like, wow, that's orange. And I'd be like, yeah, it's orange. Of course it's orange. Like, how? It's glowing. Why do you have to tell me that?
By the way.
Yeah. Oh, shit, really?
I'm colorblind. I have no idea. I thought it was white.
It looked brown as hell to me.
The guy at Bond said it was green.
You're telling me this is orange? Shit. Yeah. I got duped.
It's just, and I guess, like, if I talk to people about their cars, maybe I insert some sort of opinion. I probably am not a saint about it, but I feel like most of the time I'm complimenting. That's what I'm doing. I see somebody's really cool lowrider or whatever, something I'm super interested in. Usually I'm going to come up and just say, hey, I really like this. And they say something about it. And I might ask like some questions like, how long have you had it? Or are those true spokes or whatever? Like, even though I may know the answer to the question, sometimes I'm just going to ask so I can get them talking and I can have a little bit of back and forth about it. But rarely do I come up and be like, whoa, I guess maybe I would say I had a Bug, but it would probably come later in the conversation. I wouldn't lead with that.
It's not the opener.
As someone who's,
and so afterwards, everyone's
that's not
like,
the opener.
Yeah.
Oh man, I met this guy today and he wouldn't shut the fuck up when I had you know, I was just trying to go to 7-Eleven, and this guy was like, "Are those true spokes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, whatever."
Yeah.
Someone who's walked around a car show with Sean, you can tell how much he likes or dislikes a car by the level of compliment. Not because he'll say that he doesn't like something. He'll just be like, "Oh, that's neat," and like, "Oh, Sean hated that build. He was not into it." Or like,
Yeah,
"Oh, he's kind of being polite."
Keywords.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
On
can.
that, so my wife gives me shit about this one time I saw a JDM JZX90 Chaser, and it was this really clean white one that was just the right amount of low with some cool work wheels on it, and just going by real slow. I was in a car, he was in a parking lot, and I just said, "Good car, man." And ever since then, it's just, "Good car, man. Good car, man. Good car, man." And that's
ultimate compliment.
I realized that, I mean, it was a good car. I thought I was stating the obvious, but apparently, that was not enough or too much. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I went wrong.
Oh, well. I think, we've all been in that. I mean, I didn't really think about that with the Wagoneer, but yeah, that's right in there. It's, everybody's got an opinion about those too.
Oh yeah.
It's less people have opinions about XJs and 80 series and
I
Jeeps
will
in general.
agree with that. I go and
Jeep
fill
people
up
are
the
weird,
old
man.
XJ, and there was a fella at the gas station who said he had a Grand Cherokee that his grandpa built a 500 horsepower 360 that was in his, and he's on big tires. And I go, "Oh, cool. How big?" And he goes, "Oh, I think they're 31s. I went, "Cool.
Good car, man."
Yeah, good car, man. Good car.
It's inflection there.
So,
good car, man.
Yeah, that's Sean's got the keywords. I've got the key inflections. Good
Yeah.
car, man.
That's the 31's comment
man.
reminds me of the last guy that talked to me about the Wagoneer when I was getting fuel, and he goes, "Oh, you know what this needs is some 36-inch swampers." And it's like, well, you literally just gave me a tire size smaller than the tires I already have on it, and like what? Like,
But that's
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
Like that's literally
Your tires
smaller
are too
than what
big,
I have.
Colin. Your tires are too big.
Gotta downsize.
Well, and they got to be
Guy
louder
just has
too. That's
micrometer eyes.
Yeah,
Micrometer?
noise.
He has eyes. Oh man,
this man has eyes.
A half inch on either end, too big.
Too big.
36s.
I think
That's the
most
perfect
part he
size.
was just looking for tires that make more noise, because I made the comment like, I kind of drive this like almost every day, and it's nice, having less road noise. And he's like, "Well, I don't know. There's something about having boggers, and this and that." And it's like, all right, I guess there is something about it, but it's not my something.
Yeah.
Not the thing
Said
I
the
want.
guy who has a friend who had a truck on boggers.
Yes. Oh my God. There were exactly 0 boggers at Overland Expo Pacific Northwest, by the way. There's my transition. I could be wrong.
Good segue.
There could have been some, but I saw none. And I think I touched every bit of that fairground area. And there was a bunch of cool stuff. I should have written notes.
Yeah, what kind of tires were on that Colorado?
The one with 35s from the factory. That one. Some stupid Goodyears, probably.
I don't remember. Just wanted to hear what size they were.
They had the GMC booth, and GMC had the Sierra ZR2 and ZR2 Bison. It was sick. It's got a come up winch on it, which is cool. It's got not 35s, but decent sized tires that are also Goodyears or whatever. They're putting on like the new Broncos and stuff, I think. Which I'm probably wrong about. They're probably not those, but anyways.
I think they are. I think they're the Wranglers, the Goodyear Wranglers.
Yeah, they might be.
Hold on. I'll check it.
Look that up, Tyson.
Be your fat guy. Yeah. Somebody check that.
It's sweet though. I like the bumpers and stuff. And then somebody on the internet I noticed like the day of the show was making fun of it having a white interior, and I happened to walk by it and saw that it had white at about, I don't know, 6 inches of the top of the seat, and the rest of it was like black or gray or something. So I was like, okay, internet, let's calm down without seeing the thing. But it was cool.
I want to be
Post a
mad.
picture
Goodyear
of the Range
Wrangler
Rover's interior.
territories.
That's right.
On.
Yeah, exactly, Colin. It was pretty cool though. I mean, neat. I think they probably had a Colorado there too. I think I didn't pay attention because I'm still so sour about the tire thing.
Canyon. It's the AT4.
So the Colorado, but from GMC.
Yeah, but it's the AT4 is what they call it instead of the ZR2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is funny because an AT4
It
is a
is
rocket
not
launcher.
a Chevrolet.
No. It is, however, a GM. So,
Right. I always like it though because the AT4 was the rocket launcher, it was a self-propelled grenade that we would use for tank fighting in the Marine Corps. And so I was like, oh shoot, that's gonna explode. That truck's gonna.
I mean, it still might. You never know.
No, it's going to shoot and explode.
It's probably in less dramatic. Yeah.
Either way.
For some reason, though, not super wowed, and I might just be fanboying about the other thing that was there that I'm gonna go to next. But it was fine. I was pretty
Lexus?
like, cool. This is neat. I think the biggest thing I was gonna say there is that AEV doing that program is really cool. It's neat to see them like branch out. Like I've always liked the prospectors. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
And then the Jeeps are really cool too. Like as far as kind of bolt-on overland nerdy stuff, I think they're super cool. They're way too much money and whatever, but they're neat. I think that just shows like that OEM involvement that I think is really cool, like we talked about before.
Yeah, any 3/4 ton truck that can come with 40s and a warranty is cool.
Yeah, they had
That's
that
awesome.
flatbed one out there too. The red one that's been showing up everywhere. That thing is sweet.
Yep.
I'm going to call that a flatbed, not a tray bed. We going to allow that?
Well, what's the definition changes to me is if it has anything that folds up.
Hey, Tyson, why don't you go ahead and look that up for me?
Yeah. I'm looking it up right now. What was it? AT3?
AT3.
How do you spell that?
It's an AT3 RS. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me go to Ask Jeeves.
I think we need a new lookup guy.
That's a deep cut there, man.
Hey,
Already?
where's your
dang
son? Let's get him in here.
Man, no, he's busy. He's got Fortnite. He's playing Fortnite. Don't worry about that.
Oh my god. The other thing that was there while Tyson's gonna spend the next part of the episode here looking that whole thing up to tell us was
I'd call that a flatbed.
all right. See, let's let it stand.
Flatbed, foldable sides.
Ooh.
Right. Still a
See,
flatbed.
that's
No, the
what
fold up
makes
sides, I think, makes it a tray bed.
yeah, that's what kind
Yeah.
of makes it a tray.
Is that what makes it a tray bed?
I think
I
it
kind of
is.
think so.
Okay.
And storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Right?
it's got little like storage
that
bins.
seems-
Well, I'd argue. I've seen a bunch of K trucks with tray beds that don't have any storage, but they have the sides that'll fold down to be flat or
Those-
fold up to be a bed.
No, I mean, if storage is the deal breaker, I'm not seeing storage. You could make storage, but I'm not.
You can store
seeing
anything anywhere.
Well,
it's a
then
hybrid.
Everything is a tray bed.
Everything is true. Hot dog's a sandwich.
And a taco, cereal's cold soup.
Hot takes here on the Campfire Passport podcast.
New
The
debate.
thing that I like,
Cold
Jesus.
soup.
The thing that I liked out of the OEM section was Toyota Lexus. No surprise. Lexus had the new GX, which I thought was awesome. It's the right size. It's way smaller than I thought it was going to be. And I would love to talk about that, especially in jest of Jesse not being here, because I'm sure he has terrible opinions about it. But also, they had a new Tacoma there, and fun story about the new Tacoma that they brought. It was a pre-runner.
I know. I like almost made fun of the guy to his face, and I had to stop because my son was there.
Who at Toyota events or corp whatever decided, hey, this is an overland show, an off-road specific trade show thing. let's send a 2-wheel drive truck and park it on a rock.
So, counterpoint, Colin, how long were you in 2-wheel drive on McGrew?
How long on purpose?
2-wheel drive, low range, all the way up to the first big obstacle that Jesse got stuck on. So
now I'm gonna say as another
I'm
counterpoint.
gonna say that's impressive.
The other counterpoint here is that Tacoma pre-runner probably has a rear locker. Someone else does not.
So it's 2-wheel drive.
I've got a
for
limited
real.
slip.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well,
The
yeah.
slip was very
I
limited.
have a traction adder. you know?
Almost 2-wheel drive.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes.
All right. That's something. We'll give it. I also
Could have
am
been
wildly
better on
speculating here.
36-inch Swampers.
Definitely better on
got that.
That's
36.
what I didn't have.
Yeah. You would need 4-wheel drive.
I thought the GX was awesome, though. I want to hear
Yeah.
everybody else's thoughts because I love that Mike likes it, by the way. Let's start with that because that's
lot.
great.
Well, I think that it's probably the Lexus version is probably going to be battling with like the Grand Cherokee or the new Wagoneer in that kind of space. It's a little smaller than like the new Wagoneer. It's a tiny bit bigger, I think, than the Grand Cherokee just by standing next to it. But it seems better than both. And
Yeah.
when I was standing next to it, I was like, man, they thought of storage in the back, and they thought of seats that fold flat, and there's a decent little like rack thing on top that you could probably modify a little bit to put a tent on. Like they're already pretty close. There's power in the back of it. The whole thing, I thought at least somebody thought about the rich people who want to go off-roading.
I think it'll take sales away from Defenders. I think that's like the thing that they're not going to, I mean, that maybe they didn't realize what they were going to do, or somebody did. They're smart people, but it's going to be significantly cheaper than a Defender that's equipped the same way. It's a little bit smaller. It's way more fuel efficient, I bet. It makes sense. Like it'll battle with that. Grand Cherokee also for sure. I think Wagoneer is for Tahoe people, basically.
Yeah,
like they
Wagoneer's
don't,
big.
They're so big. There's one in my neighborhood I just saw today that's hauling a 23-foot-ish wakeboard boat, like a new wakeboard boat. And I'm like, that's impressive. Those are heavy.
That's a turbo inline 6, right? So
they're only 392s.
Yeah.
In the Wagoneer. Yeah, 6.4 Hemis only.
Wasn't that the whole big thing, though, is that they had a single turbo inline 6 that was coming in the Wagoneers as part of like their whole dump?
I don't know. The only turbo inline 6 that I know of recently is that new Mazda, the CX-90, I think is what it's called.
Tyson, get on that, please.
Yeah, I think CX-90. Yeah, Tyson.
I'm going.
Check me here.
Can you fact check me? I know Jeep there was a marketing push a while back, and I don't know how long back, that they were going to do another inline 6, and it was going to be this time turbocharged. Have some sort
Holy
of power at it.
shitballs. Grand Wagoneers MSRP starting at 90,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
me.
In slight defense, although it is very ugly, it is pretty nice inside. It is definitely a little bit nicer than like a Tahoe. Again, it's not as nice as an Escalade, but it sits in this funny little middle ground. It's way too much money. If anyone ever came to me and said I want to buy a Wagoneer, I would laugh and say, "Man, you should not do that." But in its defense, compared to other things that are like it, it's fine. It's not crappy.
So the Grand Wagoneer L is going to have basically a tuned 2JZ 3-liter twin turbo inline 6.
Now, is going to or has?
That's 2023 Grand Wagoneer L. Yeah, 510 horsepower.
Hybrid or
boosted?
Does not say anywhere about a hybrid.
I did not know that. Well, I'm fairly confident when they first came out, it was 6.4 Hemi only in both variants. But I also that I've worked on them and sat in them. I've driven one. That's about it.
Yeah.
The 22 was, the 6.4
Okay.
2022 model year.
So it
it's
was
the
a thing
first
they were
round
working
of
on. They just didn't get it out
upgrades,
first.
basically.
Yeah.
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 I wish Luke was here for this one, but it's the mid-cycle refresh. That's what it's called.
There we go. Yes. Thank you for the terminology.
Yeah. Aaron would have gotten that too.
Yeah.
I should sell my Hemi Wagoneer at $100,000 so I can buy one with a twin turbo inline six.
For $100,000.
So the
For another $100,
the 0 to 60 is not as great. So
Oh.
if that's what you're looking for,
But do you get choo-choo noises from the V8?
Yeah, it's also pre-tuned.
no, but you get V8
so you gotta...
noises from a V8.
I think here's my.
All you have to do is cut the cats off, and it sounds awesome.
It's true. Just like every Charger ever.
Right, and that's your unofficial $3,000 instant rebate.
For a limited time only.
And someone else can take it if they're faster than you.
Oh my god.
That's true. Yeah, there's no set to who claims this.
My hot take on the 0 to 60 time on that is two-part. One, it doesn't matter because it's an SUV. Secondly, I'm pretty sure 0 to 60 times are no longer relevant now that we have EVs, because it just doesn't make sense. They're just so fast. Like, I'm never going to buy an SUV on acceleration numbers. That's just not what I would do. And so the fact that it does
fun exercise would be to go to a car dealership and really grill the salesman on what the 0 to 60 times are for whatever you're looking at.
Dodge Caravan.
Side story, years ago at one of the local dealerships, Volkswagen Audi dealerships, like Oktoberfest party that used to be invite only, they did, was really cool. We went to them all the time. One of the salespeople,
Just in October though?
Actually in September, as they usually are. It's very strange, but
well, how'd you go to it all the time? Well,
once a year in September.
For October.
We're going to this year's April Oktoberfest, boys.
April Fest.
Mid-cycle
Very
refresh
exclusive.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had a conversation with a salesperson who I knew through a mutual friend, and this guy was talking to me about the new Jetta. I think at the time it was like when the Mark 5 Jettas came out, or Mark 6 Jettas, Mark 6. And he was telling me all sorts of fun things that were not true about the vehicle's performance. And I'm so polite and so non-confrontational in a situation like that I had to exit the conversation as quick as possible. I just said, wow, thank you. And I left because I couldn't deal. And afterwards, my friend said,
what's an example? What was one of the things
he dropped? He gave me something about how it had, like, there were options that were not actually going to be available, like, DSG in a VR6 motor, and just weird stuff that I was like, I don't know why you're telling me this. Like, this is, one, completely untrue, and two, it's not selling me at all. So it was a
this
whole
bad boy has more power to weight ratio than the space shuttle.
Yeah, pretty much stuff like that. It was not good, not fun.
Like a prove me wrong kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't really talk to any of the salespeople or the demo people at the OEM booths. I talked to all the aftermarket people that I needed to, but at Expo, I completely avoided that. Although, whoever said that, I really wanted to tell the people at Toyota that they had made a terrible mistake bringing a pre-runner truck. I thought that was so weird. Yeah. I'm sure it's just the only one that was available for whatever reason, but come on. Yeah, that's an easy fix.
You would think they would have tried a little harder on that one, but I guess it is what it is.
Yeah.
But what? So your comment about the Lexus taking Land Rover Defender sales potentially, I'm in agreement. Mm-hmm. And being the Land Rover guy in the group here, there were very, very quickly memes about the Lexus stealing the Defender's look. And it was literally it's the video of Mr. Bean taking like a driver's test, I think is what it was, like from, forever ago.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at his neighbor's paper, and it's just a picture of the Defender, and it's just, and then he's just drawing, the Lexus. it's like, yeah. So the Land Rover people have noticed.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the profile reminds me of a Land Cruiser, but you could look at the profile of a Land Cruiser and think, that looks like a Land Rover, because there are some very big similarities in the way that, like, at a Land Cruiser and a Disco, like the way that they're shaped, the way that you sit in them, the sizing, it's similar. It's all, I mean, obviously they're all trying to do the same sort of things and make the same sort of, wow, Mike. Quiet, though. I will say, very quiet. So,
I muted it.
Big props for that. I just looked over at the wrong time.
I also made Miles go get me the beer so I wouldn't have to the ranch water. So then I wouldn't have to get up and make a bunch of noise.
That's beautiful. Brilliant. I love it. This podcast brought to you by Ranch Water.
Whoa.
And my son, who I've now taught to bring me beers.
That's great. He's old enough for it now. Anyways, the profile is weird. So, although we should probably talk about other Expo things, because I think it's interesting, that we should switch really quick to Land Cruiser, because there will be a new Land Cruiser.
There's two things.
Nope.
There's two things that I want to point out about the Lexus to Defender. So I was curious how the sales might get stolen. So there's two things that point out to me. And this is from hotcars.com.
Oh, man.
The 2024 Lexus GX has more forward gears. So that's important to a lot of people.
Delivering the hard facts.
Equal rearward gears.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about that. And then
unconfirmed.
A bigger infotainment screen, which, as we all know, if you are in the market for either a Defender or a Lexus,
you gotta have a big screen.
32-inch screen, because you cannot be bothered to touch a knob.
You got an 89-inch TV in your bedroom. You gotta have at least 30 inches in the car.
Yep.
I still got projector in the living room. That's what I'm waiting for.
What you should do is put a projector in your car.
Technology. Yeah, I'm waiting for that technology to come.
That is essentially a heads-up display.
How come nobody uses projectors for headlights? Imagine you're driving along and it's like Mr. Bean on the car in front of you. You also get the light and the entertainment as you drive.
And a show, yeah.
I don't want to argue terms here, but they're headlights that are called. Wait for it.
That are called that, yeah.
Projector headlights.
But they're not showing you movies as you're driving along.
They're not made by THX.
That's true. That is true. There's no Mr. Bean.
Yes, but
these are good points,
Tyson.
Tyson.
About the Land Cruiser.
Well, it's probably going to have 10 forward gears, just like the Lexus, because I'm pretty sure it's the exact same thing.
Why not 11?
That's the hot take. I'm 99.9% sure it's going to be the same. I did a little bit of looking around at stuff, and they're all the same chassis. Why wouldn't it be the same? It'll be. I wonder though if it'll be slightly down market, I guess is the word, from the GX probably, because I think it's going to be small. I think it's going to be the same size as the GX, which also makes me wonder what the next 4Runner will do, which is also supposed to be on the same chassis.
Right.
Who knows? So
also
time will tell.
Huge. Everything is huge.
Dude, you should have seen this thing in person, Tyson. I don't think it's any bigger than my 80 series. I think it's smaller. Maybe longer.
I don't believe you for a second.
Maybe longer. But every other dimension,
go ahead and look that
it's
up,
probably
Tyson.
smaller. Yeah. Hey, Tyson, why don't you go ahead and look that up? What do you think while he's looking that up, Colin? What do you think?
Miles,
I think it's close.
Is the Lexus bigger or smaller?
I know it's
than
definitely lower. Like it's it's going to take a lot more to get it up off the ground with how low slung it was sitting just as it is. So maybe that's part of the Land Cruiser side, is that will be from the factory a little taller than the street GX, but then you can just put the Land Cruiser shit in the GX and it's like a factory
that makes sense.
lift for nothing,
Yeah.
All right, so Miles was there, and from a different perspective, he's seen both your truck and the Lexus. So Miles, which one do you think is bigger? Do you think Sean's truck or the Lexus is bigger? And say it loudly right over here. The Lexus.
All right. Interesting.
All right.
Well,
So-
wait for confirmation on that.
I don't think you need it. This guy,
I'm just gonna go
Just look up-
wheelbase. Is that okay?
angle-wise.
Well, I mean, you can.
I mean, it's something,
I've
but
got
it's
the
probably
wheelbase. Yeah, I've got the wheelbase length and width of an 80 series. So if you've got the Lexus, we can compare.
Just keep that info handy.
I have.
Land
Yes,
Cruiser.
I do.
Land-
Yes, I do.
No, Tyson, you need the
oh, man.
GX.
This is hard to parse through.
The 80
You want me to look up
series.
the GX specifically or the Land Cruiser?
Yes, the GX, because I've
Okay,
got
everybody
the,
hold on.
the
I'm
Land
looking too,
Cruiser. I know
'cause-
you're looking at the Land Cruiser. We're all checking
the
this
80,
out.
the
I'm
80
not.
series.
I asked my son, and I believe it.
GX.
Yeah, the 80 series is a 112 wheelbase.
Pissed me off about all of them is the electronic parking brake. I fucking hate those
Well-
so much.
So on that topic,
Colin
you know
knows
the
a little
new,
more about that than the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, my last.
well, you know
vehicle
that
had
new
Oh my
Mustang that
God.
came out. That new Mustang that just came out, what, yesterday or the day before, on a slightly off topic, but on the electronic parking brake topic. They
Oh, the drift
have-
brake?
Yeah, it's a drift brake. So it's like a drift button, and you just tap it down to undo it and tap it up to lock it up, so that you could still drift with an electronic parking brake. So
Yeah,
maybe
'cause
they're
that's
coming
what
around.
the Mustangs
That's
need
all I'm
is
saying.
more ability to slide into something.
They actually
They've
are.
also raised the hoods a little higher so that when you hit pedestrians, you don't bring them under.
They don't come through the windshield.
Yeah.
They need a
Um,
slippery
And you can't see them as well either. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't need to see them.
Yeah.
I
This thing is
listened
too
to.
clickbaity. I can't find anything that's like legitimate specs.
I'm working on it.
This sucks.
3 people on Google right now, and
I'm not on
Google's
Google.
freaking
I'm
out.
on
They're like, "Why does
Ask
Central
Jeeves."
Oregon care so much about Land Cruisers?"
I don't. I'm
Oh, we're
not-
looking at
I'm not
Lexus.
googling anything, Mike. I have a notes list
it memorized.
of many vehicles sizes, because that's
You've
the
got
kind of
an Excel
research I do when
spreadsheet
I pick out
that's
a
just
car.
been-
Yep. I've got them all. I've got it all listed out. I've got. Ask me something that's in our
He's
realm.
got Excel
I
going.
know them. I've got it right here.
I'm gonna trust Sean on this more. I can't find anything that I would trust. Jeeves is failing me.
Oh my god! All right,
See if I ever
specifications.
ask Jeeves again.
Overall length. We ready? This
Yep,
isn't
go for
wheelbase.
it.
This is overall length 197.04.
For what?
Was that 80? Did you say
Overall
87 or
length of the
97?
GX. The
Oh, okay.
197.04.
Okay, so that is
That is 197.
The 80 series were 188 to 190.
Ooh, okay.
10 inches, bro.
So
You know what the never mind.
yeah,
I'm gonna
7
not
to 10
go down that
inches
road. So
longer.
overall width.
7. Okay.
Okay. Overall width 83.2.
Woof. Yeah. So overall width
Okay.
of the 80 series is 72 to 76. So I'm guessing with your flares.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
76.
It's a monster.
Yeah. Overall height of the Overtrail, which is like the kind of lifted up one that was at the show, 76.1.
I don't have the height. I don't look at those. Sorry.
Mm.
I have the wheelbase,
Wheelbase 112.
which is the same wheelbase.
Is it?
So yeah. So it's going to have more
alright.
rear overhang, and probably more front overhang too.
That makes
would be my guess. Yeah.
Bigger booties.
Well, it's interesting. It's got stubbier bumpers. 80 series have. I guess that doesn't make sense. It must have more body. I mean, it's going to have more interior volume, I'm sure. just because it's new, right? But pretty cool.
People care.
My hot take here that is boring and doesn't really matter at this point is that the the Land Cruiser, like I said, is going to be the same thing. It'll just be the Toyota badged version. It's not going to be that exciting. I'm curious if they do the 4Runner on the same chassis, like they say. That'll be cool because it'll likely be more affordable, in air quotes, for everybody. Even though it's probably going to be an expensive car, it'll be like, $20,000 cheaper, and really underpinnings will probably be the same. Maybe they'll make it, more utilitarian. They'll make a Pro. They'll do that kind of stuff. So that's good. I think, at least.
Yeah. Do you think the Land Cruiser is going to come out with a TRD Pro style, off-road version? Yeah,
they did the TRD version at the very end, if I'm not mistaken, of the 200. So they'll do another one. I mean, it's just a cash cow. It makes perfect sense. Yeah. There's so many people that'll do it. Basically, they just need to throw a badge and some different seats on it, and they're going to sell it. And so why would they not? That makes total sense.
Center diff lock and call it a day.
That's it. Other stuff at Expo, there was a lot of cool things. Nothing was really groundbreaking and new, though, as I think back on it. There were a lot of campers and a lot of GFC style camper things there that were new companies that were really good, really nice, high quality, stuff, at least, if not more quality than a GFC product. So that was kind of cool to see, just that market expanding more. A couple different rooftop tent manufacturers that I'd never seen. I talked to these guys that make the strangest rooftop tent I've seen in a long time. It's for one person. So it's a hard shell tent that is one person wide. And we had a good laugh about what kind of loser gets a one person tent. But they said many.
Is there enough room for two?
I mean, there could be. Yeah, that's what I said. Okay. You could get two and put them side by side. It'd be great.
Right. Just anticipate you're going to get in a fight. Yeah. The old lady.
You gotta fight with her every night. You gotta start something before bed.
That's right. My grandparents slept in two separate beds, so I'm like, oh, this is the overland trip for them. They'd just be so pumped about this. I don't understand it.
I won a Bluetooth speaker that's also a light by Mac Tools that costs way too much money, and then I lost Colin and Colin for about 30 minutes. They might have avoided me for a little while. But I did win an expensive speaker, so y'all can suck it.
I probably asked this when we were talking after the show that day, but how did you win something from Mac Tools or Matco Tools at there? Matco, I swear I did not see any tool manufacturers.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was a light company, and they sell. It's lights, Bluetooth speakers, and flashlights and camp lights and that kind of stuff. So it was mostly the electronic side. They just also happen to sell it through Matco. You're right, not Mac.
Yeah, they've got a Matco partnership in some way,
Yeah, but it was $395.
$49.95, but through Matco, it's $400.
Through Matco, they upsell.
Yeah, it was $79.99 if you order it direct from Germany, or the one you can get out of the truck was supposed to be $395.
But don't worry, you can buy that for $5 a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
I brought it camping, and it lasted the whole camping trip without dying. It's a good little magnet light. It was great.
Nice. Other than that, I mean, Expo was Expo, and I think if you've seen the internet, you've seen what's there pretty much. I will continue to go every time that it's here because I think it's interesting and fun to attend. But beyond that, I don't know. Maybe if we would have had a podcast the next day, I would have had a little bit more to say about it, but it was fine. I think that what I keep looking at is the Redmond location is fine and it has plenty of room for everything. But when I look at the other locations, it looks like they have better on-site camping and trees and a little bit more, I don't know, feel of it being a little bit more outdoorsy.
Less event center. Yeah.
Yeah, less event center. Ours is at the fairgrounds. So it just looks like it's at the fairgrounds. And I think everybody has a good time. The Fit Garage after party was fantastic, just like it was last year.
That's
I hope they keep talking or doing that event. I was talking to him about that, and he seems to think that that's what they'll keep doing if the expo still comes to Redmond. And it's worth it every time. And there were even more people, I think, this year than there were last year. And last year was crazy. So
Definitely,
it's a lot of fun. I hope he doesn't outgrow the spot for it. I hope he just keeps cramming people in there in typical old Fit Garage style, because I think that's a lot of fun. The
one thing that I
that,
had on top of that, Sean, I'm going to interrupt you. Sorry.
Yeah.
When
I
was on my way out of there, I ended up talking to one of the like event staff guys that, you know, helps run it or whatever. You know, another one of those conversations that starts thanks to my Wagoneer. And he asked me, you know, how it was.
The guy who wants to make no friends.
Yeah, it was cool. You know, it was, and I just made the comment. It seemed like it was a good amount bigger. And he said, yeah, there were 25% more vendors this year than there were last year. And I mean, it was pretty noticeable just walking around, like how much more there was. Not that there was, you know, anything, like you said, anything more that was like some groundbreaking new thing. It was just a lot more of like more people doing their own version of someone else's thing, basically, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, you know, more stuff.
Well, and I think there's room there for like, I don't know, probably 40% more at that location. So it's got a lot of opportunity to keep growing there. They're going to run out of parking and camping before they run out of room for vendors.
Oh man, hot off of that music festival out there this weekend, the camping at Overland Expo was really good. They do a really good job with setting up the camping. It doesn't seem like it until you see a poorly run camp scenario, and then you go, oh, these guys, they know what they're doing because they set it up really nice.
Yeah,
and they did not do that at the festival. But whatever, not a camping festival, so I guess that's fine.
Well, it was if you were trying to
before so rudely.
Ride is a get high.
Oh, he was awesome, dude. If I could, I can't. Well, first off, I can't play guitar like that at my age. He's 90 years old and he can play guitar. Obviously, he's a professional. He's been doing it a long time, but his dexterity at 90 is impressive. He can sing really well too, but I don't think he can sing for very long is the catch. He does
that's also
little bits and pieces, but God, it was good.
Because then the IRS will catch up with him.
If he sings too much?
Well, if he just does anything too long. Willie Nelson's been running from the IRS for the last like 20 years.
I'm also fairly confident he's got to have like 15 kids, because every time I see something about him, there's a new child involved. Not like a young child. They're still a little older, but they're still young enough though that you're like, huh, you must have had that kid when you were 70. Okay. It was good though. I was glad to see him live because I doubt I'll have another chance. I missed out on at least one other person like that in the past, and this was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I missed Tom Petty by like that much.
Yeah. Uh-oh, we lost Tyson. Okay, what were we talking about?
You were changing the subject off of Expo.
No.
And Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah, I was going to change the subject on Expo because I was done talking about it because I think I'm over it.
You're over the Overland Expo?
Oh, clever. Yes, I am. Wow. At least for this year.
That's a t-shirt idea. Go ahead.
Oh, boy. Actually, yeah, there were a lot of, the music festival I went to, there were a lot of clever shirts. I told Lauren at one point, man, these rednecks, they have clever t-shirts.
Never thought I'd hear that sequence of words.
All kinds.
Yeah.
I don't like the gosh darn wordplay, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, witty redneck.
Yeah. What I was going to talk about next is my favorite thing that's happened today. And that's that we have a dedicated, loyal follower who has left a comment
Trevor
on our YouTube channel. And I would like to give a special shout out here to Trevor. I want to say, hey, man,
God bless
we hear you. And we're glad you're praying for us because
I'm gonna chug this margarita in your honor.
Because the Jesus was not part of what we were talking about. You're completely correct, and we appreciate your honesty. And we hope that when you listen to this, you might think about joining us. We might just have you on as a guest.
Everyone
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Influence.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Tyson,
That's right.
Tyson, I appreciated your comment in the text thread. What'd you say?
Just the self-awareness that this has nothing to do with the video, and then blurb. Like, self-awareness is key. That's super important. Well, I feel a lot of people don't really have that. You got to have that reflection. So yeah, Trevor, come hang out, dude. Yep. Let's get wasted. Or not. I don't know. Come on. Back me up, guys.
It's gone.
No? Okay. Oh, did I disappear again?
I heard every other word there, Tyson. I don't even know what you said, but it sounded
Colin's
great.
Colin's going to get it in post. It'll be great.
The bright side is I'll get all of it as a healthy audio file, and I'll get the joke then when I do the editing. So
yeah.
Can you forward that to us so we can get the joke too? Because I think that's going to be a lot funnier.
I'll get that clip and I'll send it. Yeah.
I was just really pumped to see someone interact with us. We have tens of followers, and I'm excited about those. Every one of them. But just some engagement. That's why I went in there and I was like, hey, I'm going to like this guy's post. He deserves this. He's out on a limb. Why not?
Yeah, so far, my mom has listened to every podcast that I'm in. So
that's
and
great.
She sends me a message like, are you sure you should have said that? Or similar. Or at one point...
Does she ever send you a bull in a china shop gif?
No, that's just Sean, and I still don't get it.
Well, she hasn't heard that podcast yet.
Like, you got to tell everybody. She sent me a message. She said, "You got to tell everybody that certain things are past is a long time ago. You know, it's a long time ago." And I was like, "Mom, nobody's judging you. Don't worry about it." And she's like, "Well, I just
she's
don't
still
want them to
worried
think
about
that
your origin story."
I was like, no. No, my origin story, my whole my parents used to get drunk and enjoy themselves with their friends and hang out and everything. And she's like, but we were younger then, and
she's a little worried. It's been a few years. I think
all 10 people who are listening, remember, my mom's pretty fine. She's a really awesome lady, and she's really doing great. She hasn't done any illegal stuff in a long time, I think.
Another big shout out to Mike's mom.
She's worried. She listens to every. I think she listens to every podcast just to make sure I don't incriminate her.
Smart.
Basically, every time my mom's asked, I just don't share anything with her. I say, okay, yeah. And then we move on, which is going to be really funny if she ever goes through the back catalog of what we've got going on here, because she will definitely catch this and she won't be afraid to be mean to me about it. She's a wonderful lady, by the way. But
so you can get everything
when we're 100
else.
episodes in, that's when you'll finally tell her.
Yeah. In today's episode, Tyson has a terrible internet connection.
And I know his jokes are good. I know they're good. Every time.
I think Tyson's my favorite character here. But can't hear him, so...
Yeah. It's going to be great, though, because we all can listen to the podcast later.
Man.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll be moving
it's going to be... It's like it's a surprise for even those of us that were here.
All right. Maybe it's a sign.
It's because we made him sit in a different place. That's what happened.
Well, he also doesn't have the cat ears anymore, so that might be part of the problem.
Yeah.
It could be less reception.
Reception, yeah.
Yeah.
I got something to work on.
Well, the only thing that I wanted to talk about before we stopped doing this, the only thing I wanted to talk about before we stopped is a thing that I really wanted Tyson's opinion on, because he had the longest story in the last episode, I think, about it, and that was bucket pooping. And I had two pieces to that, which were equal parts serious and not serious. The serious part, I think packing out your waste is probably a really good idea overall, like overarching. I think we can all agree on that. And I think more people should do it, even though it's kind of counterintuitive to like just some things, right? And to some people it's hard, but I think it's a good idea. I don't know if I love the bucket, but whatever. But I wanted to hear the bucket stories again, just a little bit more, because I just thought it was so funny. And I wasn't there for it. So I thought, man, I need to hear the firsthand experience. And like I said, the firsthand experience I really wanted to hear was Tyson, because he had the conversation about, I'm pretty sure, pooping in his annex on his tent, which sounds bad.
Oh, and it was a hot day too. Like
105.
Very hot, direct sunlight.
It was very hot.
I don't know if you're going to get
it was very, very hot. I made the decision to grab a bucket and do the business. I got in the annex. It was much hotter than it was outside, which, as Mike stated, it was 105 out. So we're probably 120, I'm going to estimate, inside. So it was down to business, down to business.
Man.
Do
Easily,
it.
yes.
Do the thing. There's no, like, you're on your phone. It's no tinker stinker time. It is just do the business, wrap it up, and the sheer...
You're strictly there for business.
The sheer relief. The relief
business time.
of coming out into 20 degrees less was refreshing. So you had two big releases there. You had the weight of your body being left in a bucket that you're now carrying out, and also the weight of that temperature that is no longer as bad. So win-win. That's a win-win. And you, like Sean said, serious note, you feel good about you're carrying your poop out.
Win-win. And then
It's fine.
yeah,
I left mine at a Sonic.
in a garbage can, I hope.
Yeah, in a dumpster.
Oh,
They had an
okay,
unlocked
okay.
dumpster out back.
They didn't
good.
get my slushy right, so I left it at a Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one time I've used these bags without a bucket, they worked pretty fine. I was pretty into them, but I don't have a car backpack. No trasharoo on my car. And so all I could think about for like 3 days is how it was all inside the car. And again, it's the right thing to do. These bags have like these enzymes, and like, I get it. It's not that bad. It's not really that gross, but there's like a mental block that's really, I gotta imagine that anybody that is listening that actually does real car camping, overlanding, has had this thought. Like, there's, maybe it's partly because we live in a desert, but like anybody on the West Coast has run into this, where they're like, this is like, you're gonna have to do this at some point.
Yeah, I'm buying one. I'm going later this week because we got a camping trip coming up with my family, and we're going to be in a campground, and I want to be able to poop in my camper. And so I'm acquiring one. It worked super good with the child. It turns out that a child's portion and an adult's portion can go in the same bag, so you don't have to be wasteful.
Your portion.
Judge me all you want, but I sat with my feet in the water and shit on some shit. So it's not wasteful that way, though.
Wait for,
And then
for the
we just had a trash bag out, and I
to be
threw it in a
enough that
dumpster
you're
at
like,
the Sonic
oh
when we were leaving.
no, the adult portion won't fit.
There will come
Only
a day.
one way to find that out.
Find that out, and it's gonna be a bad
Oh
time.
my God.
Fortunately, it's just one time. Hopefully.
Maybe.
Yeah, you assume I learn early, huh?
Yeah.
I don't.
Do you start taking a
Oh
chance?
my god. Well, I'm glad everybody loves their poop bucket.
It's really nice. And as far as like burying it, it's still not 100% looked down upon. I mean, it is, you're pooping on the ground. So literally, yes, it's to be looked down upon. But 12 inches over 12 months is the rule of thumb, the 12-12. So make sure you're not pooping in the same place every month, and it will, decompose properly. Otherwise, get a poop bucket. Also get a poop bucket because, like Mike said, you go down to a river, you dip your feet in the river. It's refreshing.
Tyson, do you poop once a month?
No, I poop a lot more than once a month, which is why I have several places in my house that I poop.
Wait a minute. Tyson just once a month. Maybe you got 12 places over 12 months.
No, you guys haven't been over that for a while. It fucking stinks in here.
I gotta say, I think we are hitting the record for most episodes with poop talk in them. Jeez.
How many episodes are we at with poop? Do we talk about poop in every episode?
I mean, that's our number one topic, it seems like. Yeah. I mean, that was our opening.
No wonder what's his name is so worried about us.
Yeah, that's why he's praying for us.
He's a loyal follower of ours.
Man, I guess we can...
Trevor, you know what?
Tyson's shitting once a month, and this guy's been like, please, God, just give him a bowel movement every...
I just appreciate that Trevor's so worried about us. Don't worry, we eat vegetables, we get lots of fiber. Like, it's totally normal.
Yes, we do.
I don't know what he said except vegetables.
God, you guys
the whole end of the podcast is going to be a surprise for everyone. This is great.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, we definitely are.
Sorry.
What I was going to say is we do poop in some really remote locations, and those places definitely should not have poop left in them, probably. So that's why the bucket makes sense, or the bag at the very least, right? And we've been talking about this for a long time. Lauren's going to listen to this and be like, I've been telling you this for 5 years. So sorry.
She's at my house. I'll go tell her right now.
No, it's okay. I'll wait till later to tell her. But
Lauren,
I had a really
I'm going to use the bucket.
I had a really natural transition there that I was going to talk about the Story Till Now video that I shared with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the entire tens of followers that I really like the video. I think that guy makes really good content. I think he's a little dry as far as commentary, but it's beautifully shot. They have really cool stuff that they do. And then the thing I told Colin that I thought was really neat, and I think Colin will at least latch on to part of, is that they didn't blow up all those spots. They went on an Oregon adventure just recently before Pacific Northwest Expo. They went to what was hilariously almost exactly one of our camp trips, or like two of them melded together, which I thought was funny, and I want somebody to elaborate on. It's not me. But beyond that, before I get to that, or before I have them get to that, it was really nice to see them go to some places that are a little bit sacred for us, a little bit like not secret, but kind of secret. You got to know places. And they didn't talk about it. They just said, we went to this plane crash. They didn't say, we went to this plane crash that was X miles away from X place, and you go down this one road. And that was really cool. I mean, They called out the Alvord Desert playa, Canadian, as they said, which I thought was funny. It's Canadian, whatever.
What are you doing, you playas?
But you know what? Everybody knows where that is, right? You can just Google it. That's easy. Those other places, not so much. So it was pretty cool to see. But I wanted to hear, because I know Colin watched. It looks like Mike watched. We're never going to hear Tyson's, but when we actually run the podcast and can hear it, I know Tyson took cliff notes. So I'd love to hear everybody's kind of quick take, just quick review on that one.
Yeah, I mean, quick take of it is, it was essentially, multiple trips that we have done, sometimes more than once. But they had a week to do it, where we typically just take, the weekend, and I've just kind of gone through a different direction and then gone to a different point so that we can kind of check out new areas in our limited amount of time. But because they had a week that they were going to do it in, they just did all the places we went to. I mean, or we've been to. The only thing that they did that we haven't done, but we are going to this year, is the area of the Oahe, because we've done Oahe, but like our own version of it, essentially. And the what I noticed about the drive that they did was that's the like full section of it, with the water crossings and whatnot, which I was actually kind of surprised that they were able to do that, because typically everyone says not to try and do that early because the water level is really high, but the water level didn't look too high to me when they were out there doing that. But yeah, I just thought it was funny because it's just
the hood of that rig.
Well, he went kind of fast. The next guy that went in, it didn't even go over his hood. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny, like, because it's literally what we've been doing for years, and once again they prove that a trailer is, not worth
Fine.
not worth bringing.
No way.
Nope. Yeah, I immediately text Colin when I saw that part, and I said, "You are gonna love the trailer drama. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
10 out of 10 would recommend."
What did I say to you? God, what? Oh yes, the trailer is unnecessary adversity. That is how I worded that.
Yeah, unnecessary adversity.
And that's how I view.
There's
trailers.
a shirt idea for you.
Oh, I've got that one written down. It's banked. Don't worry.
All right.
And it just needs to be a picture of a trailer, though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea how we're gonna get Mike's motorhome down that hill, though. If we go,
I'll take the Jeep.
Yeah.
Although
Michael,
I will say that Power Wagon's pretty big, and it was fine.
I think I could do most of that trip in the truck, but my wife wouldn't be happy, and that's the important thing. So if
Yeah,
it was just me in that truck, things would happen at a certain way and certain pace, but it wouldn't make my family feel comfortable. And so we'll branch off, and I'll take the Jeep, and it'll be fine.
well, even with like the
Are you
the
planning on
Hawaii
doing that?
side that we did before, which Sean, you didn't go on, but you kind of like went there like on your own afterwards. That first
I did it on my
camp
own.
spot where you come down past that cabin and then the next drop down to the water, like that's why. So that road is why we said to Lauren with his old van, we can't have that. And even his new van, I don't know about it getting back out of that spot because of how cross axle it is, and he's only got 2-wheel drive, and but yeah, there's definitely some areas out there.
I got some gnarly little road.
Or
Not
35-inch KO2s.
Yeah.
It was the width and size of with camper and all that. I don't know if it's worth it. The attempt to say that you did it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, and now that I have the Jeep and a viable camping situation out of it, we're more than happy to post up the truck somewhere, and I'll go meet them. We'll take 2 rigs. I don't even care. I like being able to wheel hard and play and then go camp somewhere else. That's just fine by me. So Haley and I have talked a lot about this, where the next Alvord trip, it's the same kind of plan. If we're going to do anything cool on the way, they're going to break off. They're going to take I'm setting up a whole towing system for the JK. I pointed to it like it's behind me, but it's not. It's in the driveway. So it'll be able to tow it behind the red truck, and then they can break off and go do the Alvord camping and hanging out while we wheel somewhere or whatever. I want to be able to do that because I very much enjoy the camper life for camping, and I very much enjoy the Jeep life for Jeeping.
Fair.
This is the way.
Yeah. And we're
On
okay
that
with that.
bombshell,
I do want to touch on one thing
I did that
they
road.
did
I did that
wrong,
road.
and that's all of the shirts that said safety second
Okay.
Play.
is totally wrong, because we all know that safety is third
Because we know it's third.
and first.
I thought they were safety third
So
shirts. I guess I wasn't paying
first is
attention.
Look cool.
Second.
Oh, that's
is
stupid.
have fun.
Yeah.
And third is safety.
Yep.
Because if you get hurt, you don't look cool.
Yeah. Maybe it's a Canadian thing. I don't know.
Canadians skip a step. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't look cool,
Their
or they
healthcare,
don't have
I
fun.
know, maybe, but look cool, have fun.
Do they start at
Maybe they
zero?
start at zero. You know what? God damn it. I don't know.
That's probably it. That's probably it.
Their natural state is looking cool, and so they don't even have to include it.
I don't know if anybody's ever said that about Canadians.
Well,
I did.
It's
I
probably
grew up in
more
Alaska. I used to look across at them.
You would think it'd be the healthcare thing though, because so they should be able to push. They should be able to push the safety even further back, because
Yeah, like fifth.
Yeah,
Fifth or
because
sixth, yeah.
So they, why? I don't know why it's second. Why did they push it up?
Man, we got to start a whole nother podcast about this.
Okay, well, I think we did it. I think we got it.
What did we do? What did we get?
I think we got it.
It has been gotten.
I don't know.
It has been gotten.
I
It
really
is
started to listen to
decided.
this podcast so I can know what Tyson said most of the time.
I know.
And don't skip
I
forward.
can't wait
you gotta,
2
You
weeks.
gotta listen to the whole thing and wait for it. You can't skip to the end first.
I know.
It's like reading the last page of a book before you start the rest of it.
Can I petition
I always read
for
books backwards,
our closing to be safety third, or at least going through the, remember folks, look cool, have fun, safety third?